What a great kick.
Oh, Robin Townsend plays on. Plays to the whistle. Kicks away for Valentine Holmes. Penalty again. Wow. Chad Townsend, brilliant.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of the Town podcast, episode 2 for 2020. And we've got another special guest on today, current teammate of mine and good friend. Please welcome Shaun Johnson to the show. Welcome, brother.
Let's go, boy. Let's go.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks, bro. This is my first podcast, so I'm actually really excited for it, eh?
So we're on.
Yeah, we're on, man.
So we're in the middle of pre-season at the moment. How's the body feeling?
Yeah, pre-season for me has probably been a little different to what it's been for you. Obviously, coming back a little later with rep duties and that, but yeah, body's feeling pretty good. Had a little setback, just doing some contact with my back, but starting to come right now at the right time. Hopefully, get a few good sessions under my belt heading into nines in a few weeks.
Beautiful. Mate, we know you're going to be electrifying in the nines as well.
What the boys are going to be on.
What do you enjoy most about the preseason? Because it's pretty tough. It's pretty demanding, isn't it?
Yeah, and like with preseasons, like wherever you go around the comp, I think they're all pretty similar. You know you're in for some hard work, and you prepare yourself for that. So it doesn't get any easier.
Mentally, hey.
Yeah, like you're always up for challenging yourself, and that's what you get every day with the preseason, and it comes in so many different forms. So, yeah, like just one of those things you get through. You get through, and then you get yourself at the start of the season, and it's all worth it.
What do you dislike the most about preseason?
Oh, dislike about preseason.
Tuesdays?
Tuesdays, Fridays. Going up to Southo for a contact sesh.
Yeah.
But like anything, has its good and its bads, but it's all worth it.
I think for me, because obviously in season, you obviously get the contact and the physicality, the adrenaline from games, but in the off season or in the preseason, it's hard to really replicate a game. Like we replicate games at training, but just that contact. And when we go up to, for people that don't know, we do quite a fair few wrestle sessions or contact sessions, and you feel every bump and bruise.
Bro, you feel every aspect of it, especially when you're a little fella like us, and we're up against these massive OBs. Luckily, we don't have to do it with the forwards.
Luckily we're split in backs and
at
forwards.
The Sharks, they look after us. They give us backs and forwards. But still, backs these days are just as big as the forwards. So definitely. It's one of those things. We'll take our nicks and bruises there because we know that we get to get them back right when we get on the field. So it's all about a bit of give and take.
For people out there, what does Shaun Johnson do outside of football in his spare time?
It's probably changed a bit, since I've moved over here. But back home, it was often any chance I got, it would be catching up with family and friends. Obviously, rugby league requires so much dedication and time that you often can go periods without seeing, your close ones. So days off would be, in some sort of way catching up with either Kayla's family, my family, friends, Kayla's friends, my friends, whatever.
Yep.
And then some days would just be throwing the feet up and switching off completely, So since I've moved over here, it's probably been a bit more of the second one, just throw my feet up and switch off completely. I like to play a bit of golf, as you know. I like to shoot hoops. I like to sort of get out and about and do different things. You know what I mean? I've just started doing Pilates. Our day off today. So it's sort of finding things that can still, decompress you and keep you fresh for when we go back into work like tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that. Now, you and Kayla, your partner, just recently got married in the off-season. Talk me through that. How was that?
Bro, it was...
Because I saw some of the videos and photos, man. It was unreal, hey?
Even now I think about it, and it's so hard to believe that the day went as well as it went. Obviously the lead up, there's so much pressure, so much stress that, in particular, Kayla and the brides go under.
Yes.
The boys get a pretty cruisy ride, but seeing it unfold the way it unfolded, it was just the most perfect day that we could have wished for.
Did it go quick?
So quick. And anyone getting married out there, and you can probably help me out with this, the best piece of advice I can give you on your wedding day is take some time to yourselves, because I got that advice.
Yeah.
And it's so true because it just flew by.
Yeah, because you feel like you're trying to get around, work the room, talk to everyone, thank them for coming.
Yeah.
And you don't really get too much time to yourselves and together and checking in, but it goes super quick, hey?
Yeah, it does, man. So it's good. Kayla and I got some time to ourselves. The vowels went smoothly. There was no hiccups. The speeches were funny. It was an awesome mood set. And it was the best day of our lives. So
I saw a really cool photo of your old man dancing. Talk me through these. Your old man got some moves, doesn't he?
Oh, PJ. No, so that's okay. Let's rewind that real quick. He likes to think he has moves, all right? And anyone that knows my old man PJ, he's like one of the boys. So he was actually one of my groomsmen at the wedding.
Oh, that's unreal.
Yeah. So while Kayla and I were doing our first dance, it was like, okay, like this is enough about us now. Let's go off and grab our parents and start getting people on the dance floor. So I go up to get my mum. As I'm turning around to walk back to the dance floor, PJ's like literally buckled back over his knees, doing like those, like touch the floor, come back up, touch the floor, come back up. All right, this is the best part though. So wedding goes on and that. We wake up in the morning the next day and catching up. Sorry, like just, chewing the fat with everyone, debriefing as you do. And PJ sort of comes hobbling out. Like, what have you done, Dad? He goes, I think I've done my MCL. Oh, he reckons it was stiff, so he's definitely a good fella to have around.
Man, that's all time.
Life at the dance floor.
Now, you guys did something pretty special with your wishing well. Like, talk me through that.
Yeah, so our wishing well, obviously not obviously, but we got married up in Byron. So we certainly felt the effects of the devastating bushfires that was obviously consumed Australia lately. So about 2 months before the actual wedding, Kayla and I were speaking about what we wanted to do as, like a lot of people asking us what are we going to do with the wedding gifts, do you want us to bring them over? And we were like, had a good convo and we came to the agreement that, we didn't want people to bring over presents. We said if you can bring over a donation of any kind, small amount, large amount, did not matter. You can write a nice letter to us if you want with it and donate it. With all those donations, we're going to hand them over to those directly affected by the fire. So for us at the time, it wasn't actually a big thing. It was just like it felt so right. We got married in Byron. Our wedding venue was smoky. You know what I mean? Like we definitely felt it. So it was quite an easy thing for us to do. But obviously, in recent events with how big and how much they've grown in that time, it's obviously means a little bit more now. So it was really nice we were able to do that.
Yeah, man, that's unreal. Really
nice.
That's so cool. All right, let's move on to a bit of footy now, and we'll take it back to, I guess, more your junior days. Like, where did you play your junior footy?
Yeah, I grew up in a place called Whangaproa, which is just about 45 minutes north of Auckland. So all my childhood up there, started sort of training and mucking around with a footy around 4 years old, and I played for my junior club, Hibiscus Coast Raiders. Yep. All my age groups through that club right up until under sort of 16s, 17s, and then from there moved into sort of the development programs at the Warriors.
And the thing that I guess sort of kick-started probably when you were a young fella was that touch video.
Yeah.
That went viral. Hey, who filmed that and how old were you?
So this is probably a bit of a misconceived
because it went
sort of story.
It went viral though, didn't it?
It went viral, bro. But it was one of those. It's one of those ones. So after people saw that video, they were like, "Oh, Shaun Johnson, the touch player."
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realise I've always been Shaun Johnson, the league player. Touch was sort of my summer sport. You know what I mean? And it was back then when I was very skinny and small. That was like I was speaking about earlier. My little chance to sort of get back at a few people, who would either run over me or once they tackled me, get a hold of me and throw me around.
Get them one-on-one, boom, see ya, boy.
I was like, you want some of this? Let's go. But so that touch video was filmed when me and my mates were 16, 17, 18, sort of 2 years back to back. And we're just playing for our senior sports senior touch team at Oreo College down at Secondary School Nationals in Palmy in 2007, 2008. So those are the two touch videos. My dad literally filmed them just on a camera recorder.
So your dad filmed them?
My dad filmed them.
Man.
And all they were filmed for was for us. It was literally like, boys, we can make a video here and you guys have it forever. And we do have that.
I love that.
But on the flip side, it's obviously helped me get my foot in the door playing rugby league. And for that, I'm always so thankful, even like just to the sport of touch, like how much it's helped my game.
Yep.
It's been crazy. So I always get behind, supporting like touch and always try have a game whenever I can.
So you play his Hibiscus Coast Raiders, and then obviously get identified. You got a bit of talent, and then you start playing for the Junior Warriors. And I remember, because Shaun and myself were similar age, and playing the Junior Warriors, you guys were beasts, like absolute beasts of a team. So successful, like the amount of players that you would have played in the under-20s Toyota Cup with that went on to play in Super League, NRL. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
so many talented players.
We're very lucky back in NZ with the talent. The talent, like the pool of talent that we've got. Sorry, like it's crazy. And you think about how many people we let go back there as well.
Yeah.
It's honestly unreal. So being a part of a Junior Warriors team, like you said, bro, there was a team of beasts. And here I am, this little guy, like going, how good is this? I'm on this team now with just animals, I remember our 2010 Toyota Cup team, we won the comp, and everyone in that team that was either too old or moving on picked up some sort of contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So that's really crazy to think about that turnover. We had players like Nuffy, Glenn Fisiahi, boys that picked up something wherever they went. Daniel Palavi, everyone went into something. Charlie Gubb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Needcrop. We had all these boys, Markuane, man, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. It's so cool.
Definitely.
That those sorts of boys kicked on as well.
And then obviously, played Junior Warriors, make your NRL debut in 2011. Who was your debut against? Remember it?
Yeah, debut was against the Roosters. Wet night at the SFS, actually. It was a tough game, really tough game. I remember what I remember from it.
Did you get a win?
No, we lost. I think it was like 10-8 or something. It was really close. It was wet as, and we're playing against Todd Carney and Mitchell Best.
Yep.
I was in the game, bro. Okay, get this. I was in the game, and I'm sitting there going, I can't believe I'm playing first grade right now.
Headgear?
No headgear. Nah, lost the stack out. I actually forgot it. So I remember debut round 13, 2011. I forgot it my first game back in 2011. I think it was maybe round 6. I just forgot it. I forgot what I wore. I forgot how to prep for a game, and I actually forgot it. So I ended up playing a game without it and just didn't look back from then. But yeah, I remember buzzing out going, oh my gosh, I'm 50 minutes into a game, I'm going, I'm playing first grade. How good is that?
So how was the story? How was the lead up to that game? Did you know you were playing early in the week? Did someone get injured? Were you wearing the 7? Were you wearing 19?
I think I was 18 or 19.
18, yeah.
I got told, I think they sort of tried to keep it a bit quiet.
Yeah, as they do with debutants.
Yeah. So I was wearing the 18 or 19, and I actually got told, I think it was early in the week, like Tuesday or something. And Ivan, I remember it, we were just running out through the tunnel at Mount Smart, going out to train, and Ivan pulled me aside, and if you know Ivan, he's quite sort of blank face, he's poker face kind of guy, and I remember just saying, how'd you feel about playing first grade this week? And you're in, and I was just saying, I remember what? Yeah, I was like, what, am I speak English or? I was like, what do you mean? Is this happening? And then I was like, nah, yeah, okay, pumped, fizzing, and I obviously didn't want to look like that little kid that just got told his childhood dream was just becoming real.
Yeah.
So I've sort of run out onto the field and acting, sort of trying to act a bit cool, play it down. But obviously a few of the senior boys knew. And I ran out. I remember, it might have been Michael Lark. He goes, "Oh, Jackson, you can smile." I go, "Nah," and I just started smiling, training and running around. I was like, yeah, this is the best.
That's
the
mad.
best
Did you ring mum and dad straight away?
Yeah.
Brothers?
Yeah. I definitely would have. My dad probably would have been the first person I called.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome journey, bro. It's such an awesome journey to get to that, eh? So,
and then obviously, make your debut in 2011, have an extremely successful year, come into a side that's full of, some great players who are playing some really good footy, and then you guys make the NRL Grand Final. Yep. So how was that final series in your first season of NRL?
It went like that.
Yeah.
I came into an environment, a team that was playing pretty well.
Yep.
We didn't sit in first or second, but we were pretty cemented and sort of, I think we finished maybe around 6, we were sort of, and we had a good season. And for me, all I thought was, oh, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know any
100%.
different. I was just like, this is first grade.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You come in, you win, you go to finals. Yeah, you're playing a grand final. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
How good's life? So it was a blur. It went so quick because I'm only 20 years old. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm only 20 years old and I'm playing with some players that I still was pinching myself. I'm playing with Lance O'Hire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Michael Luck, Manu.
Jerome Rapati.
Like,
Yeah.
just buzzy. Even now, bro, I'm still so taken. Like, I'm just buzzy.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
like crazy. So it's one of those things that went so fast, and I in some ways, I'll never change anything. But like, it would have been nice to see if it was a different sort of story those first couple of years, and you realise what NRL's about, you know, as opposed to just falling straight into that success.
Definitely. And I guess, as you said, you come into a team full of some great players. Who were some of the greatest leaders you played under, or like senior players who sort of set the tone, and guys that you really looked up to and thought that, you know, geez, like these guys are what you would define as an NRL first grade player?
Yeah. So when I came in 2009, 10, and then making my debut in 11, it was players like Lance O'Hire, Jerome, Manu, Michael Luck, and then we had some exciting like Jimmy Maloney was in the club. We had Brett Seymour, with Sean Berrigan, like all these sort of these players that were really good for the group as well. Jacob Lemon, so I was very lucky that I came into an environment where, like having those, in a way, those sort of hard-edged Aussies with those sort of laid-back Kiwis made just a really good environment to be a part of.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you say you've come into the NRL, played the grand final in your first year, sort of cemented yourself as an NRL first grader, and then your Kiwis debut comes. Talk me through that.
Yeah, so the Kiwis debut happened. It could have happened 2011. So I actually got picked to go on the end of year 2 in 2011. Remember, we got told
man.
so.
First year,
bro. So we were on our Mad Monday on the bus, drinking, having the best time ever, and we're all sitting there. And then Sponge sends up. He's like, "All right, boys. All right, here's one for you. This is who's made the Kiwis?" And he's going, and he goes, "Johnny Johnson." I was like, "What?" Again? I was like, whoa, fellas.
boys would have been going off.
And everyone was just like, like charging. It was so good. It was so good. So I didn't actually play that year because I was battling a bit of a back injury.
Yep.
But 2012 rolled round, Anzac Test, the first test of the year. Kieran Foran was ruled out. And so I got called in and played alongside Benji as a 21-year-old. So,
man. How did you go? How was the game?
Well, like the
crazy.
best thing that could have happened to me that week, I'm so thankful it happened. I was nervous. I was in awe. I didn't feel confident. I was like questioning, should I be here amongst these players that I've literally grown up watching?
Yep.
I'll never forget Benji coming up to me, sat me down. He goes, "If you want the ball, you get the ball. You want to kick the ball, you kick the ball. You want me to run a play for you, you tell me to run a play." Like he just laid it out there and said, "You are here for a reason." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that put me at ease, and I was just felt so much more comfortable.
I love that because I know how much you looked up to Benji, or how much you enjoy playing alongside him, how much he's taught you as a player.
Yep.
But what's been the difference, I guess, from like you've only just recently played with Benji at the end of last season, and you got to play with him in 2012. Like, has Benji changed in that time span?
Nah. So like for me, like Benji's always been,
he's been the guy.
He's been the it man, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say this carefully because like he's a player I have so much respect for, but as a person I have even more respect for.
Yep.
And I think that's a really awesome trait that I know a lot of people would feel the same about with Bags. Like he didn't have to sit me down and say that to me.
Definitely.
He would have only been 24, 5 himself. You know what I mean? But the fact he did, and then being able to, I guess, reconnect with him all these years on, seeing how far we've come, like he's still the same person. I remember he's still like he's a hoary. He's still that same raw person. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what's so awesome about him. Like he hasn't changed one bit. He's probably matured in a few areas of his life. Yep. But as a leader on the field, around the group, he's still going to be Benji.
I love that. I think the fact that he actually said something, like it shows he cares. Like he cared about you. Yeah. And like to hear that from someone who's like a senior player is awesome.
And even more now as we get a bit older, right, like we get to have these conversations, and we can actually put ourselves in those shoes as we know, what it feels like to be given that confidence.
Yep, 100%.
So it's cool.
All right, I'll bounce back to the Warriors and how many coaches did you have in your time at the Warriors? Because I've lost
Yeah,
count.
so this is one
literally.
of those things. What are the things you heard about the Warriors all over the years, right? So inconsistencies, all these things. We went through 6 or 7 coaches I had in my time at the Warriors.
Yeah, that's
Who
crazy.
did we go? Just quickly. We went Ive, Sponge, Bluey, Cappy,
Matt Elliott.
Mooks.
There's 6 just.
There's
off
6
the top
just
of your
there.
head.
I don't know if I forgot anyone. There's 6 just there
In what, 9?
in 9 years.
9 years. Yeah, jeez.
So I think
how was that to build, I guess, relationships?
all the
Combinations.
coaches I got along with really well. You know what I mean? Like I like them all. But it was one of those things. It's a bit like our time playing together over there. Combos take time.
Definitely.
Relationships take time to build.
Yep.
Trust takes time to build. Like we see with what Bomber's doing this year, been more his program. It takes time to own your program. So it was hard in that sense. I remember one year we went from calling a player 70-something to calling it a completely different name. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. So I think stability starts at the top.
Yep.
I've always thought that. And I thought, with the leaders we had, like Simon, I thought they did a terrific job with what they had. They wore it every single week.
Love that. What do you think's the biggest difference, I guess, for us? Like we're nearly 30.
Yeah.
When we first played together at the Warriors, we would have been 22, 23 years old. What do you think is the biggest difference for our combination now compared to back when we were at the Warriors?
Well, I thought we were just kids back then, man. I don't know what you think. Literally, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
We're like you said, we're 23, 24, whatever we are. Getting the keys to a side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like over these years we've had apart. You've gone on and done what you've done. You've won comp. You've had the success. I've done what I've done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Obviously, didn't win a comp, but it's just I've grown.
Played a mountain of rep football.
But yeah,
experience, maturity.
We've both grown in aspects of the game and in life, you know what I mean? So I think coming back and picking up, it's so easy for us just to far out. Yeah, let's pick this back up.
Yeah.
Remember, when you left, I was gutted, eh?
Yeah.
Because remember, I'm like, bro, we're just starting to click. We
Yeah.
were playing some awesome footy that year.
Yep.
Awesome footy that year.
Yep.
And then, obviously reasons, and that's full. But I remember thinking, man, if we could have stuck one more year out, who knows what could have happened.
I remember that conversation, man.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah. That was crazy, and I still think back at that. Like now that we're back together, I'm like, well, bro, it all works out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
It comes back.
For me, I feel like when we have conversations now at training or maybe after training about the session or what we're thinking about a game, to me, these conversations are so different to the conversations that we used to have.
Yep.
For me, if we're talking about plays or seeing something or trying to pull apart the defense, because that's a lot about what our play is.
Yep.
I feel like our conversations are so different. I don't know if we were having these conversations back then.
Yeah, it's hard to...
The football IQ, I think, is a lot higher.
Yeah, it definitely is. I don't know if we were having those conversations. Obviously we had a really good coach in Cappy who
was definitely one of the best coaches.
He could dissect a game like no other, right?
So strategy.
So he probably did a lot of our thinking for us.
Yeah, he loved it.
And we needed it. It
was
23
awesome,
and 24, we were like, yeah, Cappy, you got this, we'll listen,
Still love seeing Cappy now and saying hello.
So... Now that we're picking this back up, you're right. We have discussions about football now.
Yeah.
We bounce ideas. I'll ask you, what are you thinking in this situation? Do you think I take that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's a two-way convo.
Definitely.
Equal input. You know what I mean?
Yep. Or then if I feel like if we're going at each other at training, we might try something and you see that and you're like, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Or you're trying something and we're stealing that as well because it's on our edge. Because it's
yeah. That's right. You think about it, every time we train against each other. So at training, for those of you out there, left edge, right edge get split up. Chatty's left, I'm right. I've got my crew, Chatty's got his crew. When we train against each other, we're going at it, eh? To the point, if we get a training try, we're celebrating that. I'm walking back, God, yes, baby, let's go.
Well, I remember the other day at training, right, Woodsy was, we had the ball and you were on the other team and one of our, I can't remember who it was, might have been Jax, and he was getting up to play the ball. Woodsy died on it, flopped on him. I yelled, "That's a flop!"
Yeah.
And Woodsy just told me to shut the F up. Because we're in the thick of it.
That's how good is that though, eh? We're just proper competitive. Like, we just want to win. Even at training, it's like, and Woodsy's the king at it. He leads that intent. So, yeah, that's awesome.
All right, man. Well, I'll quickly touch on, I guess, when you left the Warriors and like sort of what went down. But did that really, I guess, emphasise that rugby league is a business?
Yeah. So, again, another step in my progression as a player and as a person.
Yep.
Realising that don't feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
It's a business. The Warriors didn't owe me anything.
Yep.
It's purely business. They wanted to win. They didn't think I was the best guy for the job. So, yeah, you know what I mean?
To me, the only thing that I thought was a little bit odd was the timing.
Okay.
The fact that you still had a full season to run on your contract.
So, and I'll say this, like, although we mutually agreed to release me,
yep.
like, with how things ended up, I didn't want to see out that last year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to put this completely on the Warriors. Like, you know, like, I'm not saying that the Warriors just got rid of me like nothing.
Yep.
It was discussed and it was mutually agreed.
Yep.
You know, that, okay, with how things have ended up right now, I can't stay here another year. You know what I mean? I just didn't feel right to me. Mm-hmm. You know, and like I said, I didn't sit there and feel sorry for myself. Probably for a little bit there, I was thinking, why now? Like you said, like the timing, like.
Yep.
For those of you that remember that 2018 season, it was one of the best seasons that the Warriors have had in a long time.
That was the next thing I was going to say. Like, because to me, the Warriors hadn't played finals football since 2011, your first year.
Yep.
And in 2018, you guys had an amazing year. It was pretty consistent, the most consistent you've been for a long time. Made the finals, got knocked out week one, and then it happened in the off season.
I think probably that finals game didn't help my cause. You know, I had a good season. I really felt like I played some really good footy, and I really felt like I had a good season, and my combination with Greeny in particular and Roger at the back was hissing. You know, like Greeny very similar, like good football IQ and can just put the ball in good positions. You know.
Yep.
So I really felt like that was clicking. I thought our forward pack was starting to really hiss. You know, they were giving us some good ball. So it wasn't just my change with what happened to me. There was a few other changes that we were all going, oh, man, like as players, we're having these discussions. Why can't you just keep us together? You know what I mean? Like, well, look at what we're doing here. You know, like we didn't go like this. We're going like that, you know. So it was disappointing in that sense. But, yeah, again, it's one of those things, like it happened. And for whatever reason, you can't dwell on it, eh?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
You can't dwell on it. So Warriors moved on, did what they did. Obviously, I'm here talking to you, bro. Like, it's all good.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, I know. Like, it's all good, you know. Like, it's there's always a positive in any negative situation, and that's my honest belief. Like,
and
you can always find something, eh?
Like, that is, I guess, like the resilience to me is one of the most important things a professional athlete can have, because I always talk about, like, your career. It's not all rosy and it's not all up the top. Like, you go through, you know, so many ups and downs, and it's how you bounce back from the downs, or how you pick yourself up and how you go again. You know, face that resilience from having a bad game to bouncing back the next week and having the best game, to getting injured, to getting over your injury, to getting stronger. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many little challenges that physically and mentally that athletes face, and this one was just a massive one for you, Thor. And I thought you, from a mate looking in, like, you handled yourself with class, man. The way you sort of put stuff out there, the statements you said, you never said a bad word about the Warriors, when a lot of other people in that situation may have had a bit of a dummy spit.
No, I appreciate that, bro, because that was really important for me, not to dog anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, like at the time it was hard to take, and not just for myself, but for my family, friends. Like, I had friends coming over, like, that had, like, rode this wave with me my whole career, just devastated. The conversation I had to have with Kayla, that what was happening was honestly the hardest conversation. There was tears. It was like, it was so tough. And this is all stuff that people don't see. And then you get some people saying, he doesn't care about the club. There's no loyalty. Sean's got no loyalty and all this. But it's like, bro, that's completely wrong. You know, like, there's none of that here. Not in the business of dogging anyone out. None of that. Like, it is what it is. But, man, like you said, that resilience that, not, I guess athletes go through it, but everyone in life at some point will go through.
Definitely.
You know, like, you always can find that positive, eh? And that's what I really really hung my hat on.
I love that, bro. Mad. All right, I'll move on to, I guess, the next chapter, man. The Sharks.
Yeah.
So why the Sharks? I remember, quickly before you answer, when this was happening, I texted you, and obviously there was rumours going around about where's Shaun Johnson going to play, and we'd obviously just lost Valentine Holmes in the off season to go to the NFL, so we obviously had some cap space and a spot there for someone in our spine. And I remember having a chat to Flano, and Flano was like, would Shaun be interested in coming here? I said, bro, Shaun would definitely be interested in coming here. Like, just from back in the day, I remember having some small conversations about the Sharks and what the culture was like there, et cetera, et cetera. And so I text Shaun and I said, hey, bro. And it was more, I was coming from an angle as a mate, just checking in on you.
Yeah, I remember
and,
that.
I said, hey, bro, hope you're all good, thinking of you. If there's anything you want to ask any questions about, I'm here for you. Just put the ball in your court. And you wrote back to me and said, thanks, bro. I really appreciate it. I think you ever said to me, boys could be on or something like that. But I just left it at that because I knew that you had a process that you were to go through. But, the Sharks, man.
So the Sharks, it just fell into place, the timing of it. Because like I said, with the Warriors, I had one more year, but I couldn't stay there. I couldn't just have a stale year there.
Yep.
And with that stuff with Val happening, it was sort of like, man, this is maybe meant to be, like he floated out and did what he did, and then I just sort of came in and filled that pocket. So that's kind of why it was the Sharks. And then obviously having that relationship with you, and those fond memories I have of playing with you in NZ, and how I remember feeling like, man, like just if you could stay, like it was sort of that little sort of thing. So looked at the squad, looked at the players you had in this group, and it just excited me. Yep. One thing playing against the Sharks for all those years, you always knew you were in for a tough game of footy. You never knew you always knew it was going to be a close game, and if you were going to win, you're going to have to get dirty. You know what I mean? Like you have to grind it out. So that's what I really admired about the club. So sort of having that as my focal point and sort of joining that sort of group and environment, that's what excited me.
Yeah, I love that. So how was, I guess, you signed the contract. I remember you came over. I'm not sure, you might have had a look at the facilities, but then we went to lunch together with a few of the players and the boys. You signed the contract, went back over to NZ, had a bit longer break, obviously playing with the Kiwis, and then you moved to Australia. So how was the move?
Oh, again, resilience. It was a really good time of my life to just grow. Like the growth I got out of that whole process, bro, and moving, coming over here into the unknown on my own, without Kayla, without anyone, walking through that departure gate, saying bye to my brother, who we've lived with together for 28 years at that time, saying bye to Kayla. Like, honestly, like everyone was saying, oh, we'll see you soon. It's not going to be long. I'm like, that doesn't feel like it right now, man. This was like, I'm walking through these gates to say goodbye, and go over there and try to put my head down and make something of this, Even landing in here, didn't even know who to look for to pick me up. Driving, so Andrew took me in for the first 10 days, and that was amazing to help get me settled. But I remember driving to Andrew's at I never met his family, never been to his house, and here I am coming to live with him for the first week and a bit, So the whole journey, the whole process it was really tough, almost tougher than the actual process of the whole contract stuff with the Warriors, because it was real. It was like, okay, this is real now.
I can definitely relate. Obviously, going the other way, and even little things like getting paid in a different currency,
just setting up everything.
Setting up admin.
Admin.
As we call it.
Admin.
Coming set up a bank account, tax file number, etc. Getting paid in different currency. All these things, obviously being away from family, time, setting up a place.
So that was a really challenging time. But at the same time, I remember just being like, you know what, let's just do it. The club was so awesome in assisting with getting me on my feet. Shane Smith honestly had my back. He drove me everywhere and got me everything, Just having these people around me with Drewy and Nikki and the kids, just having that comfort there, got me up, got me moving, and then obviously being around the boys. certainly helps. So,
and then I guess being around the boys, are there any differences, do you think, from the Kiwis or the Warriors boys in the sheds compared to the Sharks boys in the sheds?
yeah.
Because we're quite a lively bunch.
Yeah.
Got a few characters.
Yeah. So, like, I think it's a cultural thing,
Yep.
A lot of the Kiwi boys, Island boys, they're quite timid, mannered,
Yeah.
where Aussies are a bit more out there, you know what I mean? Like
In your face.
like you're just at you. So it's
non-stop.
Yeah, it's nothing too bad because, like I said, we had Aussies over in the sheds at the Warriors, but certainly with the numbers the other way, you certainly look for the Kiwi boys in the sheds and just sort of try to connect a little bit. I sit next to Big Braid, so it's all right. We have a few convos. Ronnie's to my right, so it's all right. Yeah.
Well looked after.
Yeah.
Well, tell me some things that Aussies do or say that you're just like, whoa, like, and you don't understand. Because I guess the way we speak.
Yeah, like this, so my biggest one is the old Monday, Tuesday. Bomber is a special. It's, he goes, yeah, so boys, this Friday is Saturday. I'm like, what's D? What? It's day. So if you actually spell Saturday, it's like D-A-Y, so why are you saying D?
Yeah.
That's
That's Aussies, man. That's us.
So that's the one I can't quite wrap my head around. There's obviously all the little sayings in that, but I love the Aussie banter. I really do. I don't get amongst it. I listen and I like to be around it, but it's so good.
Yeah.
So good. So,
Well, 2020, man. We're on 2020. A new year for us. Obviously, last year, 2019, we got knocked out first week of the finals, probably below where we would have liked to have finished. But what, how are you thinking for 2020? What are your expectations, or what are you, what's the standard?
So being in the position I am this time round, I think back, where was I 12 months ago? And I think how far forward.
Oh man,
I've got a whole step, a whole month, a whole year.
You're so far ahead this time of last year.
You know
it's
what
not
I mean?
funny.
My confidence around the boys, my understanding of our plan.
Yeah, the culture, what's
understanding
required.
the culture, the standards, all that. I'm fully across now.
Yeah.
So we go well and truly better than what we did last year.
Yeah.
That's from a team point of view. From a personal point of view, we've had conversations over this. Obviously, I think you're a really good person to talk to about this, just with how strong your body is and your resilience, your resiliency playing how many games? Over 100. Multiple seasons back to back now, right?
106 games straight, or something
like
that.
That's don't say 106 games or something like that.
I to be honest, I don't
know.
I don't know. All I know is 100 games, over 100. I don't count them. I don't want to count. I just want to. I just want to play.
Chatty's body is strong, and for me, having that is that's what I need. And I just need to stay on the field. I need to play more games, and I know if I can play more games, my footy will go to another level, and I'm confident in that. So for me personally, it's using this time right now to get strong, really strong, and hopefully that translates into the field, gets me on the park a little longer, and we can have a really good fun season.
Yeah, definitely. It excites me too, man. And I've seen some of the stuff you've been doing in the preseason, ripping into the weights in the gym, and but I guess for us, we put 6 guys on Daboo in 2019. Some really exciting youngsters. Tell me some of these guys who excite you.
With our boys that made their debut, so you think of the likes of Ronnie, Bronce, Britt, even Blakey, these boys, Billy Magoulias, all these boys, right? They know what it's about now. Definitely. So it's exciting to see them roll around for their second year, having that learning.
Yep. So
I'm just as excited as I was for them in their first year, in their second year, because I know that they're just going to keep going like that. They're all such good kids. They work hard.
Yep.
They work hard and they have a good head. Bronce is getting there, but he's got a decent head. You know what I mean? The rest of them, see. Bronce is good. But all of them, man, all of them. And then who knows who knows who's going to be knocking on that door again this year? But for our boys that made their debut last year, having them have that experience now, get to roll around for a second time is going to be cool to watch.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right, just a quick one, sort of off the cuff, but where's Shaun Johnson in 10 years' time? So you're well retired from rugby league.
Yeah. This has been something I've
put much thought into it.
So honestly, man, Like, bro, as you get a bit older, you do.
You do.
You definitely start thinking about it, eh?
Definitely.
Look, I want to be back in New Zealand.
Yep.
I want to be involved with the game, but I also want to be doing something completely different from the game. If you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be locked down to a 9-to-5 job. I know that much.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm the same.
So my whole, I guess, philosophy is I'm going to set myself up with something we've spoken about again.
Yep.
Some passive income, just to take the edge off things. I'm going to, be involved around footy, pick up maybe little skills gigs, pathway gigs, New Zealand Rugby League. I'd love to help New Zealand Rugby League, just get really well established and really well respected, and get people talking about New Zealand Rugby League and the Kiwis in a manner that they talk about the All Blacks.
Yep.
I would love to be a part of that. And then just have something completely left field that, maybe Kayla and I are invested in, you know what I mean? I'm not too sure how it's going to look, but I'm confident I can make it happen. Yeah. Really confident.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Australia Day is just around the corner.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big celebration for us in Australia.
Australia Day was my first exposure last year to Aussies. Aussies in full swing.
Yeah, Aussies.
And Kayla was over here visiting, and we left there, and she goes, "Oh my God, is that what Aussies are like?" We were at Aussie barbecue at Wado's, and we had a few people around.
I remember that.
Remember it, bro?
Yes, I do remember that.
And it was lit.
Yeah.
It was lit. So
a bit of beer pong in the backyard.
Yeah, it was crazy and just wild, eh? Everyone was just leery. So Australia Day, yeah.
All right, so to celebrate Australia Day, I've got a quick quiz here. I've got 10 questions, Aussie questionnaire for you. And I want to see how you go, all right? What does hard yakka refer to?
Hard yakka, that's like just putting in some solid work.
It's a mahi.
Yeah, some tough work.
Yeah, hard work. Yeah, you got that. All right, next one. What time of the day is it at Sparrow's Fart? What time of the day is the Sparrow's Fart?
First thing in the morning, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, Sparrow's Fart.
What are mates rates?
Mates rates, we sort of, like want to buy something for a little bit cheaper.
Yep. Bit of a discount.
Yep.
For a close friend. Yep. What does it mean to be knackered?
Knackered's just tired. You're gone.
Yes, beautiful. In Australia, what is McDonald's informally known as?
Pass.
Mickey D's.
I'm learning.
What does it mean to have a crack?
Have a crack's just like have a go, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're onto that. What is a sanger?
A sanger? What was a sanger? A sanger's a sandwich.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right. You might not get this. Is a little bit tough. To be a stubby short of a six-pack is to be what?
Stubby short of a six-pack.
It's someone who's a bit crazy or does silly things.
Okay. Not quite all there type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
What was the late Steve Irwin's famous catchphrase?
Crikey.
Yes. And what does... I don't really know this one either. I haven't really heard this one too much, but what does she'll be apples mean?
She'll be apples. I have no idea.
She'll be right.
She'll be right. She'll be apples. See, Aussie. Hey.
Oh, man, you killed it.
Hey.
You killed it.
Got to embrace where you live, I love this place.
I love that. It. All right, so the other day I put out on the Instagram post, by the way, that photo of you with those sunnies on.
Oh, yeah.
Belter.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a rort. That's an absolute rort.
I needed something that was good, that was catchy, that was going to get people's attention.
Because you literally pinch zoomed in on my...
Oh, I did.
Hey, you did? Did you do the old little pinch zoom?
I did. Jack Williams comes up to me this morning and goes, man, that photo was Matt. Did you see how big Shaun is looking?
Yeah. I will take that from Jackie Will as well. That's unreal.
He loves the weight.
Yeah.
So I put it out there for you guys to ask Shaun a question. I picked a few... So we'll start off here from 94 Jordan. What's the hardest part of the transition from New Zealand to Australia?
Hardest part was obviously learning a completely new, like, way to live. Like, I had to figure out how to get to training.
Yeah.
Where do I go for groceries?
Yep.
Bank account. Just
Cafes, restaurants, just little things like that.
Yeah,
hey,
hardest part is becoming
Settling
a local, right?
Yeah.
You know, like knowing the back roads, not using maps to go everywhere around here, you know? Like, hardest part was, getting your feet on the ground, you know, like getting up and going.
Beautiful. All right, next one is from Nicholas Edward. It's a sunny day, par 3, 125 metres, playing true.
Yep.
Are you hitting a firm wedge or an easy 9-iron?
See, I'm going to go easy 9, okay? Because I know when I try to rip and grip my wedges, that's not a good result. And you could probably back me up on that.
So, on the subject of golf, I'm going to put it out there. Shaun Johnson, we would have played, I reckon, over 20 times, maybe even 30 times in the times we've known each other. Yep. He's never beaten me. Never beat me. The closest he came was I beat him by 1 shot, and I beat him on the last hole.
Okay, so...
And he always thinks, I'm coming for you, Chatty. I'm coming for you.
All right. Okay, fellas, everyone listening. Okay, let's park that right there. Okay, let's park that. Because Chatty, all right, very true. I have not beat him in a game of golf. Okay?
Thank you.
But I've put some time and work into my swing and my commitment that I reckon if we were to play next week, I would beat you. I would beat you.
All right. Well, the next question, funny enough, is from Joe Johnson. And he asks, who holds the Johnson Trophy at golf?
This is back to
So
back.
I'm not only beating you.
This is back to back.
You're probably not the best family golfer.
Whoa. I put that trophy up on the line 4 times while I was back in New Zealand because I genuinely felt sorry for the bloke. Like, literally. You got to realise, me beating Joe at golf is like Joe being a better rugby league player than me. That's his life.
That's his life.
It's his life. He's played on some of the best golf courses in the world. So Joe holds it. Joe does hold it because he beat me in the last game, and we take it game by game. But Joe knows the true results of that trip back home.
All right, fair enough.
Yep.
Next question is from Katie Forbes. What has been your favourite moment since joining the Sharks?
Favourite moment? Oh, man, that's a good question.
Yeah, I thought it was a good one too.
You could have given me a heads up. A little thought. Favourite moment?
Like a certain game, certain try, your first game, finals game,
you know what?
Signing the contract.
Yeah, like obviously contract, debut, like they're all special moments.
Yep.
You know, but my favourite moment will be that game out at Leichhardt.
Yeah.
I think it was round 26 last year.
So we had to win to get in the finals.
Yeah. So that was finals come a week early for us, right? And we put so much into that game.
Yep.
And the reason I say it's favourite memory is because we clicked that day.
Yeah.
As a squad, we clicked that day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we just came together, eh? And
when I think of Sharks football, I think of that game.
That's what it looks like, right?
Yep.
So that would probably be my favourite memory, in terms of playing, definitely.
Beautiful. Next question is from Cobbler95. Has it ever come across your mind to try your hand at rugby union to play for the All Blacks?
No, never to play for the All Blacks.
Has there been any interest there from them?
No. So growing up, I played league.
Yep.
But there were a couple of years there I played rugby. That was more just to play with my mates.
Yep.
I think my first couple of years at college, we played restricted age grade, and we actually won the comp, so it was just fun. But as you got a bit older, you missed the league, you know, and like as rugby became more serious and more structured, it was like, nah, Bolt, this isn't for me. But what I generally have thought about multiple times is trying my hand at sevens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not so much All Blacks, but definitely sevens. Yeah, that's something that really interests me.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. All right, next question is from James884. What areas of your game do you want to improve this year compared to last year?
Yeah, sort of touched on that a little earlier, just with my strength and availability. You know, like I really want to try play every single game this year and play it healthy.
Yep.
I know you're going to pick up niggles along the way and battle whatever, but like from a muscular point of view, you know, be strong and not let my body down. So, that's definitely right now. That's my main work on because I know if I can stay on the field, I can have a good season.
Yeah, I love that. Yep. Next question is from Carlos Scott. What was it like scoring that try against England in the World Cup?
Oh,
man, that's probably your try of
that's
your
the
career.
question.
Your face, man.
Oh, was just as surprised as everyone else in that stadium.
That was clutch. That's a big moment in your career.
That was off its head.
Yeah.
Like, you know why? You want to talk about resiliency? I got run over by Sam Burgess that many times that game.
Yeah.
Went for an intercept. He dummied me. I was having a shocker.
Yeah.
Right? On the biggest stage. Wembley Stadium, 60, 70,000 people there. Just crazy. All English fans. So to come up with that moment when I got the chance to, it was very special. It went like that again. Like if I think back on it, I remember getting the pass above my head, and that sort of, I think, gave the defender a chance to maybe jam me.
Yeah.
And that's sort of when I skipped to the out and then came off my left foot. Big Burgess was going to take my head off if I didn't put any feet in. So
Well, Emma Rhinos asked, what's been your career highlight? Like, would you say that would be up there?
that would definitely be up there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's for your country, so it's massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been very lucky. I've had so many highlights as well. You know, like maybe not the highlights that a lot of people see, you know, like that come up as these one clips, you know, that a lot of people watch, but just like having my parents sit in the stands every weekend at Mount Smart,
Yeah.
like that,
That's cool.
that's amazing for me.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bringing my nieces and nephews onto the field with me to run around with me after a game. You know, like
Yeah.
those are the highlights that you remember forever. You know, so yeah, I've been very lucky in that sense.
I love that. Next question is from Chasing Kangaroos podcast. Where would you like to see the Nines format go? Like, obviously, you know, we've done the Nines as a club format. We've done it as an international format. Do you think it has the ability to separate and be separate from the NRL, to run its own little thing like the Sevens does, run its own little circuit? Like, what do you think the future holds for that? Like, what would you like to see?
I think we could really use the Nines as a platform to grow the game globally.
Yep.
I think it's an awesome in. You know, it's an entertaining in. It's a shorter format. You know, maybe not as much to take in. You know, to learn. You know, I think we can definitely use it as a vehicle to, like, you watch some of the teams playing at the World Cup of Nines. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to see some of those nations there.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
so to think that, you know, if we could give it a bit more exposure, you know, and really get it behind and have it as its own separate vehicle on the side to the NRL, you know, that would be unreal.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that my first potty
That's
wrapped
your
up?
first podcast done.
Talk of the town.
Man, thanks heaps for coming on. I can't wait for 2020, boy.
Yeah, bro. We're going to get it.
Nah, I appreciate you coming on today.
Nah, all good, brother.
All right, guys. Well, thanks very much for listening today. That's the second episode of Talk of the Town podcast with Shaun Johnson. If you like these podcasts, make sure you subscribe, rate and review. That would be greatly appreciated. We'll see you next time.